successful. We got to get off the field now.
Defensively, they got a few more reps than that. You'll have to forgive them for not, going 3 and out. That would have been the only way to beat the offense. But let's get into Luke McCaffrey for a second. And you could lump Ben Sinnott into this conversation too, although I just feel like you see and notice Sinnott more often. He feels to me like a long-term NFL tight end. Whether or not he's a second-round pick, in the value he's going to provide, I'm not sure. Whether he's eventually going to be a high-impact receiver, I don't know. You got to earn some of those touches that he has not gotten yet. But you notice him, he shows up in the run game. He did get a target yesterday, no catches. The combination, though, of Ben Sinnott and Luke McCaffrey had 0 receptions last night. Danny, this is a preseason game in their second year. As top 100 pick, Sinnott was taken barely outside of the top 50. You're talking about kind of middle-ish second round, and getting him on the field and getting the ball in his hands is still proving immensely difficult. But I don't even want to zero in on him because, again, I think with an opportunity, he might be able to help. Luke McCaffrey's had that opportunity. He's having that opportunity. They have had huge needs at wide receiver early last season. Remember the big catch and run in Cincinnati in week 3 on a 4th down. And his role diminished as the year went on. But I just kept waiting last night. I kept watching him. I'm going, second half, preseason game. These dudes aren't going to make the team. Just go route somebody up. Go make a play. And you heard Nick Ackridge of PFF say that he rewatches the tape and he gets separation. And last year he actually had a really high grade as far as separation goes. I don't know if we're there yet or not, but at some point, I'm a results guy. I'm a process over results guy, but the results have to start mattering. I need catches. And here's what I would say. When you watch Mitchell Tinsley last night for the Bengals, there's a roster hopeful who was here as a practice squad Jag-type player for a couple of years. He goes out and he makes unbelievable plays, and you go, it's like someone performing in the summer league in basketball. Maybe he could be a good player in the NFL. I know he's going up against a backup defensive back. I know that, that space and time isn't the exact same in the regular season, but you're flashing. You're showing that athletic trait, which, by the way, Luke McCaffrey has. His RAS score was unbelievable. I mean, this is a guy that was one of the more athletic players at the position coming out, still raw to the position because he played quarterback. But you fast forward into year 2, I'm watching him at practice, and I'm just kind of waiting, and I'm waiting. I've seen more excitable traits out of Jalen Lane in a very short time, who was drafted later, in a couple of weeks than we've gotten out of Luke now, and I'm just starting to wonder, when is it going to come?
Yeah, I don't know that it does. I mean, I hope, right? But at this point, that's all we're doing is wish casting. The idea that this guy turns into something. I mean, last time he played 28 snaps, Lane played 27. He was on the field more.
Where'd you get the snap counts?
Chris Russell found him.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know where he found him.
I thought you said George Carmi had him.
Again, this is tremendous. I know this. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything last year. Him and Sinnott. I am lumping Sinnott in there. Like, to me, this is like not quite alert time, but it's a concern time where I'm going, the pathway, especially for McCaffrey, in the preseason is open right now. For Sinnott, I get being delayed by Zach Ertz and the renaissance year he had. Again, I call it a renaissance year. This is a great player, but hadn't been a great player in several seasons. But Ertz was awesome, and John Bates is a mauler in the blocking game, so where do you fit in? Nowhere. This should have been a great showcase for him last night, going against backups, going against whomever. Push somebody off. Be physical. Be awesome. I don't notice him. He doesn't get catches or targets. He does nothing. Now Luke McCaffrey's in that same boat for me with ample opportunity. Last night should have been we should be explaining away how dominant they were against nobodies instead of going one target between them.
Here is what I wrestle with on Luke McCaffrey. I argue with myself on this because you can't throw the ball to yourself. All I can do is go out there and get my cardio and run routes and try to get open. And if they throw it to me, I'll catch it. And if they don't, it's just not my play. But if every single play is never your play, that's got to mean something. If we get through a whole season and you don't catch 20 balls, if we get through a whole season and your role diminishes, if we get through now multiple preseason games and it's one screen that's poorly timed because it was thrown behind you inaccurately by Hartman for negative yards, and that's kind of where we're at now through a couple of contests. At some point, that's got to mean something. I don't know when that is, but we're getting there. But here's the argument I have with myself is like this idea at a dependent position that you can't throw the ball to yourself. Quarterbacks are in the business, Danny, of getting completions. Quarterbacks are in the business of moving the chains, of keeping their completion percentage high, of excelling, going out, moving the football. They are trying to determine before every snap a couple of things, including, coverage and where they're going to go with the ball. But I think there is some thought process of who's going to win for me right now. When Jalen Lane's on one side last night and Luke McCaffrey's on the other, Jalen Lane's getting 6 targets. They're throwing him the football. He is, and based on practice being out there, I get why. He's always open. He's always catching passes. If you're just taking note of targets, catches, that kind of thing, you're going to see Lane way more often. And I guess my point is, I don't have an answer to this, but if you're Sam Hartman, do you just already trust Lane more that he's going to win so you're locked in on him? Is Cliff calling plays in a certain way where things are predominantly going in that direction, not Luke's? I don't have all the information. I just know that for a third-round pick in the top 100 in the second year of you playing in August games late last night against dudes that are not going to make the worst defense maybe in the league, I would just love to have gotten one pass thrown to them so I could see what it looked like.
Yeah.
And they have seemingly no urgency to do that.
So my only hope, and this is a fool's hope, is that they've got something so special and they're just saving it for the regular season. I'm not counting on that, by the way. I mean, to me, what we should be doing is going, okay, we all need to calm down. They just dominated a bunch of backups against, as you said, the worst defense that maybe the sport has ever seen. Sinnott should have gone for 5 for 65, trucked a couple of dudes. McCaffrey should be routing guys up, toe tapping on the sideline, and letting everybody know that he was wide open. You already said it, but I want to double down. Offensive coordinators, quarterbacks, these are not stupid people. This is a league of survival. How will I survive? And right now, it's not going to those guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's very simple. We had these debates
isn't last night the whole point is at some point you would think Cliff would look at the play sheet on the sideline and go, all right, let's see what Luke does. Like, in some ways, you're putting guys in spots to test them. You're trying to figure out what someone is and isn't. How do you get through 50 plays or whatever it is last night? And you said 27 he played?
Yep.
By the way, that's more than I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get through 27 and at no point do you go?
McCaffrey's 28, sorry. Lane was 27, yeah.
So how do I not throw him a bubble? Just get the ball in his hands. I'm just surprised they haven't done that just to see what it looks like. But it tells you it's not a priority for them right now, which is also alarming is probably too strong, but discouraging.
Concerning, yeah. I mean, again, the only silver bullet or the only moonshot is they're both so good and so ready to go that they're keeping it a secret for the regular season and watch all the targets they'd up. You want to bet on that? I certainly don't. I mean, to me, these guys are both now afterthoughts in the offense, which is discouraging.
I think they will clearly both be on the team. I mean, Sinnott is a roster lock, I would imagine. McCaffrey, because he was a third-round pick, there's no reason to believe he's not going to make what is a weak position group. But if this was a late-round pick, what is our conversation right now? I always try to kind of have that mindset, too.
Or if they weren't drafted by this regime, what would the conversation be?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense,
Like,
too.
if they were new this year and these guys were holdovers from last year.
I just wonder with him. I'm not out, completely. I love the kid. He comes on the show. He's a lot of fun. I genuinely enjoy my conversations with him. In fact, I've had him on my alt cast for the Capitals, hanging out on the couch, watching Caps games. He couldn't be a cooler dude. Yeah. Really, really nice guy.
Fan of his, for sure.
I also wonder, I know the RAS scores were amazing and some of that athletics trait stuff was great, but when you watch him, what's his calling card? So think about it as if it's a baseball player, and I'm talking about tools, where a guy's got a hit tool that's a 70 or a power grade that's a 65, or maybe his arm strength is a plus, or he's got elite speed or something. With Luke McCaffrey, I think he's probably an oversized slot, but I don't think of him as, he's not Cole Beasley, like twitching people up. When you put him outside, he doesn't really separate as much as I think you'd like. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what he is.
Yep.
And we're now a calendar year in and into the second season, and I don't love that I don't know yet.
So
I already feel like I know what Jalen Lane is.
Yeah. So the usage for me would be if you are playing against a team or playing against defenses where they got to go, okay, we have to zone this team. Talking about Washington. We cannot play man-to-man because ... Soft spot in the zone, he'll catch everything. I feel like his hands are excellent. You know what I mean? Hands catches everywhere and always, secure the ball, get what's there, et cetera. Dependable kind of, a good catch maven. I don't see him. Again, maybe I'm wrong. But some of the advanced numbers say, no, he's getting separation. He's routing guys up. He's doing the thing. He's just not getting the ball. I don't know, man. Something's not jiving with that.
Practice, it wasn't like he got open a lot. It seems like it's constantly small window, especially outside on the boundary near the sideline or whatever. When he's just running down the field on go stuff, like he's got good speed.
Yeah,
I think he's maybe a contested catch guy too. Just remembering his